Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check these headlines. Miami mayor and Bitcoin. XRP's on the move, by the way. We're going to talk about that. Connecticut rules on crypto securities issue. We're going to touch that. How about that Valkyrie ETF that can't get approved? I think it's got something to do with the exchanges and what Gary Gensler has said in the past. We'll touch it. And what about the wrapped XRP on Ethereum? I've got a question for the SEC on that one, and I think a damn good one. And how about the digital dollar? Did you forget about it? Call to action from Brad Garlinghouse. And don't forget about this. We got Singapore, Commonwealth of Australia, South Africa. We got Siam Commercial Bank and Saudi Arabia we're going to talk about. It's a very big world out here when it comes to XRP and the crypto space. And we're going to also hear from technical analysts on XRP price. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove, and everything that we're talking about here today, it's usually at the top of the screen, but I had to alter having a little trouble with my system this morning, but we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. Here we go. By the way, XRP's on the move, and so is the market. $2.717 trillion market cap, ladies and gentlemen. Exciting stuff. I know you see just 0.24 increase in the market, but look at the amount of money that is here now. We're talking about setting new all-time highs for the cryptocurrency market cap every day now. It's pretty exciting stuff. Bitcoin sitting over $62,500 right now, and we see Ethereum screaming at 4,500 plus. We also see here Cardano at $2.06, Solana at $227.18, now $226, and XRP at $1.16 this morning. When I first looked at it, it was like at 119. Let's take a look at the range here because the site on Fiat Links has been having some glitches here, at least at my house. We see $1.10, 110.36 on the low end of the XRP price, and we see 122.84 on the high end. So it was screaming earlier this morning. Let's get into the news, and we're going to hear from those technical analysts about what may or may not be going on as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at this right here. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez tweeted that he will accept his next paycheck entirely in Bitcoin. Think of what's going on here. This is a political official, be it a mayor or what have you. Miami's a big town. This is getting a lot of attention. And you know what? This state attention is really carrying, because look at this. I found this to be very interesting here. Connecticut finds crypto-related products, are not securities. Let's take a look. This is interesting. Now, this is a bit of a mess of a case, but it's very short. Let me read it to you here. A Connecticut jury has found that digital assets linked to cryptocurrencies are not securities in what a defense lawyer called a world-first verdict. Now, this is GAW miners invested in Stuart Frazier was clearly a liability in a fraudulent operation co-opted by Zen Miller LLC on Monday. It's the first case that we know of where a jury has addressed whether cryptocurrency products were securities. One of the defendants, Representatives Daniel Weiner from Hughes, Hubbard and Reed LLP, told Law 360, the case against GW Miners has been underway since 2017 when a co-founder pled guilty to wire fraud. This left Frazier, a 41% investor in GAW, as the sole remaining defendant in the case. Initially, GAW sold physical mining hardware, but soon teamed up with Zen Miller to offer remote management software that allegedly allowed customers to control their mining hardware online. This is where it gets interesting. According to the plaintiffs, two companies never actually owned as much equipment as they initially claimed. Earlier in this case, GAW and Zen Miller were found in default. Unable to fulfill customer orders, the two companies introduced hashlet contracts, which entitled their customers to a share of the profits from the company's crypto mining profits. However, in 2017, GAW was found to have sold far more hashlets worth of computing power than it actually had in its computing centers. Rather, the company was using the money from new customers to pay off old customers. So we get the problem. But look what the jury found here. The jury decided that none of GAW's 4 products, including promissory notes called hash points, tokens called Paycoin, and virtual wallets called Hashstakers were considered unregistered securities. Frazier was also found not liable, although the U.S. SEC Commission described hashlets as securities in its previous case against Garza. The jury in most recent case against Frazier found that the customers actively controlled their hashlets, meaning they could not be considered a passive investment. I think that's a very important thing. Whether we're talking about state or federal level, that's an important interpretation, I believe, right there. And I believe that's going to cause more issue, even though we have state level and federal level above it. That to me is something to pay attention to going forward here. Now, look, here's the other thing about this. Promissory notes. That's what we're talking about here. Promissory notes. Interesting stuff here. Okay, now let's go on to the next piece of news here, which is, in fact, in a notice designation filed on November 1st, the SEC has again stated that it needs more time to decide on whether to approve or decline the Valkyrie Bitcoin Fund. There's been plenty of denials when it comes to ETFs and all of this from the SEC. But if you remember, and I couldn't find the clip right off the top of my head this morning, but I will remind you that there is a clip we played here just a week or so ago, and I believe it came from Jeff ISO_XRP. And it was Gary Gensler talking about he wants to see no confidence in this market until the exchanges are under the framework of the SEC, just as the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ. And the reason for that statement was it was a broader point that he was making about we're not going to want to approve a bunch of ETFs out here until we have that control and regulatory framework over the exchanges, because at that point he feels you have like a foundational ground zero that you can build on for proper price discovery, understanding whether the exchanges are front running and things of that nature. But that's where I believe it starts for Gary Gensler and why you continuously see the ETFs get kicked down the road or denied. We'll keep an eye on it. But here's a question I have for the SEC. XRP can be used throughout Ethereum's DeFi ecosystem, which will benefit XRP adoption and expansion. Really meaning that if I have an Ethereum wallet, I can now have a XRP in my wallet because there's wrapped XRP now available on Ethereum's network. Great interoperability. That's the first thing we all think of, and it's wonderful. And I do think that's wonderful. But the question is, if XRP is a security, then what is the wrapped XRP, SEC? Gary Gensler? Is it a security too? Or is it not a security because it's a wrapped XRP on the beloved product and good that they made it from Switzerland to try to evade, well, not try to, they evaded U.S. regulatory and U.S. laws? That is the question. And I think that deserves an answer just as XRP designation. So let's get into this right here for just a second here. This is a reminder that just wrapped up a great strategy session with Giancarlo and the rest of the crew, Daniel Gorfine and everyone else. And they welcomed the new executive director, Jennifer Lassiter. So that's really great stuff there. But I just bring this up because remember that we just had the President Working Group paper and report issued. And that really suggests to me, that they just raised the height bar at who could afford that point of entry, that cost to build trust, as Gary Gensler says, right? Who could afford, right, to do that other than USD coin, the largest coin out here, right? That's really the most regulated coin out here, which is USD coin. I believe USD coin is in fact going to become, and has already really become, the unofficial US digital dollar, at least on the retail side. We'll see. But here we see Dr. Chris Brummer getting a highlight here from Brad Garlinghouse saying he is right. There's a lot at stake here, which is why we need Congress to play a leading role in providing guidance and clarity for not just stablecoins as it is recommended from the PWG, but crypto broadly as soon as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, This is why I encourage you to go to John Deaton's crypto law page, whether it's on Twitter or whether it's crypto-law.us or -US, and go to that. And there's a page there to connect with Congress. It's at the upper right-hand side. Just connect to Congress. You can easily select your representative in your district and contact them. Tell them what you need them to do. We have to get very, very focused with our voices. And we're going to do that. And I'm going to kick off a campaign very soon here you're going to like. And instead of tagging all of the people in Congress, we're going to get very focused about who it is, and we're going to collectively do it together. All right, so here we see he offered his 2 cents here, and it really is the call to action for Congress to settle this matter. If Congress passes the Token Taxonomy Act, the Securities Clarity Act, these are just 2 pieces of legislation that can really clear the way for innovation. This is not just about Ripple XRP. The case itself is more about the entire space. I believe that's why the SEC actually chose to sue Ripple, because the case speaks to crypto broadly and not just the actual company Ripple or the token XRP, which are completely separate. So we'll keep an eye on that. But look at the good news that's happening around the world. I want you to pull back now. Let's go macro here, because we see XRP price moving, regardless of the fact that the SEC is crapping all over crypto and Ripple and XRP, right? But look at what's taking place here, especially on the side of what's happening for Ripple and XRP around the world. Singapore's Central Bank Monetary Authority, Singapore MAS, is looking to cement country's position as a key player in the global crypto economy. It gets better. Look here. Commonwealth Bank of Australia announced its decision to allow customers to trade cryptocurrencies directly through its app. Remember, they also just highlighted that they appreciated and took into fact and consideration Ripple's recommendation towards a regulation towards crypto as well. And this momentum is coming. So this is Singapore, this is Australia. The clarity is not that hard to find because the rest of the world is finding it, right? Let's take a look at this, because this helps price move too, right? New digital bank launching in South Africa. Temenos and Barco loans are in the mix. Ripple and Temenos, if you're not aware, are in fact partners. So this all keeps mounting, but it gets better even still, right? So let's take a look at this. Ripple partner Siam Commercial Bank acquires 51% stake in ODL partner BitCub. Come on in. You know, all of this is extremely exciting. Let's take a look at this here. This is Saudi Arabia announced the country will launch Ripple's XRP powered on-demand liquidity platform in an effort to make international payments easier. I mean, look at what's happening around the world. Before we look at the TA and the price and what's happening here, which is exciting, let me just say this. You know, when it comes to watching all of this roll out around the world, I'm reminded that it is about the world. It's not just about the United States. And at some point through all of this quagmire of the lack of legislation or the lack of clarity for the whole crypto space and Ripple and XRP, I'm reminded that the rest of the world is moving forward, is what I'm reminded of right now. And the ultimate goal here, what is XRP? It's a bridge currency. Well, let's expand on that. It's a bridge currency, so build that out in our minds. It's a bridge currency for Siam Commercial Bank. It's going to be a bridge currency over in Australia, I believe. It's already going to be a bridge for powered on-demand liquidity right here in Saudi Arabia. You know, I guess we have to ask ourselves, you know, does this end up being, you know, a 75% adoption, a 10% adoption around the world, 100% adoption around the world? What do we need it to be? And actually, I believe we already see what it is going to be. And it is being adopted around the world. And we are watching that happen. And at some point, I really do glass half full here. It is my personal perspective, and it's not financial advice. I also believe we're going to see the United States realize exactly what's happening in Saudi Arabia and other places around the world. And they too will figure out exactly the best way to treat and handle this digital asset and begin to use it for themselves. Let's take a look at the TA rate quick here as Dark Defender says, hi there, congrats. $1.13 has been broken. We saw as much as $1.22. And we know that he said we expect to see 124 as key resistance, which we've pretty much touched just underneath. XRP hits 123 within the 6th attempt, precise. Next resistance will be around 141, 179. He says our support is 113. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. We also have CoinsKid here who reinforces a lot of the same information. Take a listen.
Okay, so for me, what's happened is you've come down, you start to come up, and from there, that high, you ran into this resistance, obviously, and you can see how many points of contact we've got, and you come back down and you retrace just down here. Like I said to you, I think, was it the 050? Yeah, look, boom, the golden ratio actually. We bounced off the golden ratio off that retracement just there. So came up, started to retrace, bounced off the golden ratio, started to come back up, and we've broken this high just there, broken this key level resistance, this horizontal towards this apex right now, which is really, really bullish, okay? So providing we can come up now and break this high, I'm going to show you, you are looking at a new impulsive wave, and I'm going to show you impulsive wave targets. So from here right now, you can see you're breaking out, and you ran into this resistance at this high just there, you wick to it at 123. So for XRP, if you start to come up right now and break this high at 123, for me, you're really getting the party started, you know, and take out that level of resistance, that trend line, potential trend line. That's a bull trap for me. That's a bull trap. Okay, I see a lot of people using that as a trend line. Could be right, but I think that's a bull trap. Okay, so I'm not taking that into account. Not yet anyway. We'll see. But if you do start to come up right now and you break that high, for me, you're going to look at these levels of resistance, 131, 136, and 143, and you can see right now, you know, that brings you right back up to this level of resistance just at this previous side, where potentially you might start to form some kind of handle, and you can see you've got a big cup and handle pattern. Come back on yourself, come back up, break that high, and with that you're creating another larger impulsive wave break here for XRP.
And there you have it. A lot of that is aligning, and it doesn't mean any of this won't retrace and take a breath, right? So we can't, and it doesn't mean that it won't go parabolic, right? There is an up and there is a down, and we just have to watch this living, breathing market of buyers and sellers and see what happens here. But you know what? Everybody's screaming it's bullish, and that's what matters to me. I'm going to leave it right there. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, hit a comment down below, and make sure you share with somebody you know. Check out all the links in the description and comment box. By the way, the only thing better than buying crypto is buying tax-free crypto, ladies and gentlemen. You can do that with iTrust Capital in the description and comment section, as well as Ledger Nano. If you want cold storage, go ahead and get that Ledger Nano. They got great specials, but you got to click the link to get them, and many, many other things. Check it out, and I'll catch all of you on the next one.